Can Stevie see? Be honest, because I'll be hearing some people say that.
It's not that deep.
But it's a good question though, isn't it?
It's fantastic. Ask somebody else.
Okay, it's right.
I was born to make music.
Yes.
All right, simple as that.
Usher was singing that to Estelle recently. Are you aware of this?
And then the melody, and then there's nothing like this.
And you see a face.
I see a face grinning at me, being in a classroom with a teacher saying, "It's not your fault, Omar. You just shouldn't have let all you lot come over it." No, listen, I've always been a show-off. I've always wanted to be the one that stands out from the crowd.
Yeah.
I used to body pop in Canterbury.
How do you get ODB on a tune?
I made a cassette.
What's a cassette? Sorry.
Look at boys and girls. Google it. All right.
Yeah, I heard about
Siri
that.
or Google or whatever.
Yeah, I've heard about that. Go on.
Or Alexa.
Yeah. Okay, but just to have your name with Sade is epic proportion. That's Champions League business. Probably one of the greatest you can
Absolutely.
possibly.
And on that same album, I had Erykah Badu.
Okay. What was your first thought when you got diagnosed with prostate cancer? Was it anger or peace?
You're doing that psychiatrist thing again.
I'm not, brother. I'm so. What is
so
it? This guy?
doing that.
How
what is it? Why? Do I need to lean back?
Does
this chair lean back?
Listen, if you can't handle the depth, brother, man can just say Larry D. But it's
I didn't know you, Larry D. I didn't know you get me on the psychologist.
But it's not that. Brighter the Days, the album, vinyl as well.
Vinyl, CD, download,
Okay.
whatever you want. Man needs to sleep because he's been up all day.
Did you not want to just give him a little slap? Oh, Stevie, what happened? Oh, hello, mate. What happened? Oh, mate.
No, I tell you what, it hadn't occurred to me.
Nah.
To
A little dig.
To slap Stevie Wonder. No.
Just a little dig like, yo, wake up, man. Man got bars to write.
Hey people, I'm Omar, and this is my brand new album, Brighter the Days, out June 6 on Impressive Collective, and I'm on the Shizzio show.
Streetlife is the only life that we know. Ghetto life, down in the ghetto we born and grow. No.
Okay, we are back, another episode. We want to say thank you as per usual, everyone watching. Please subscribe. People be watching, but they don't press the button, bro. It's mental, it's free, man. Help us help you, you know what I'm saying? Oh my God, as far as legends go, I say this every week, you know. I always say like, we've hit the top of Everest, but we hit it again, bro. I can't believe it, man. As far as legends go, UK icons, legends, goats, all of those words, yeah, they are all suited right now. I can't believe it, bro. Man like Omar is in the building. How are you, sir?
I'm very good.
This is unbelievable, bro.
Really?
Honestly, it's surreal to me.
I can believe it.
Yeah, you should believe it, bro. An absolute British legend. Before we start, man like Larry D is in the back. Thank you, sir. We appreciate you putting this together, and we will talk to you at some point. He doesn't want to be on camera, folks, but his voice is very important.
Make sure you don't use his government name.
Oh, sorry. Did I just use his
No,
government
you didn't,
name?
but you know what I mean?
Oh, the other one. Okay. Lucky that is.
Letters is okay.
Okay. LD is in the building, ladies and gentlemen. So yeah, if you want to weigh in, brother, please weigh in. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
How are you, sir, firstly?
Very good. Busy. Very busy.
You're actually one of the more difficult guests for me because I usually just talk to people and freestyle it.
Okay.
But when I kind of did a light Google on you, holy shit, the bloody discography was as long as like, I was like scroll. And it's a real like you become one of them, I don't know, how can I put this? You're just one of them people that everyone knows is a legend. I don't know if you are aware of this.
I've heard it before.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But you just don't take it to heart. Because it's just, it's words. But you know, people being nice is nice.
When everyone's saying it, is there at some point you got to take it, not like in an egotistical way,
sure,
but just to understand like, okay, maybe I am that guy.
Well, no, the love is real, you know.
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't matter what country I go, where I land, there's always somebody that would recognize me and show me love for the music. So
yeah.
I appreciate that.
And I've noticed throughout my life, at least, I've never heard a bad word spoken about you. Everyone fully...
Trust me, they're out there.
Oh, they're out there? I know, really, because like, it's like you're one of them like British icons that no one dare try diss, or you get like, real flowers. I don't know, bro. That's just.
I've seen comments.
Yeah,
you
but
know,
you're always gonna get
you
that.
read those kind of things.
But you know, like
yeah.
real, like rate you. The streets really rate you. Everyone really respects you. Do you know what I mean? And it's lovely to see. But I just thought I'd just highlight that. Do you know what I mean?
Bless.
You've got a whole career. Well, what we're doing, 40 years this year.
40 years this year, absolutely. Yeah,
bro.
started when I was 16, 56
Unbelievable.
this year.
We do like to take it back. I know, like, you've probably done this a million times, but obviously we'd like to try to get
cool.
like the whole story, and we'll try and condense it as much as possible. So we'll start off. Born and raised where, sir?
I was born in Balham, 1968.
Okay.
Moved to Canterbury when I was 6.
Okay. Okay, let's just put a pin in there. Can you just explain Balham to those in 1968 for those that I know?
Balham Hospital, 1968, South London. It's not there anymore.
Right.
And then I think, so basically my parents split up when I was 1.
Right.
Got back together when I was 18.
We love that.
Straight after when I was 1, then I was living with my mum in my grand's house, which was in East London. And then, when I turned 6, we moved down to Canterbury.
Right. So where in East, sorry?
I'm trying to say, I want to say Forest Gate, but I don't think it's Forest Gate. I think it's more Dalston, where it was.
Okay.
It was Maple Dean Road. That's all I remember the name of the road.
So if someone says, what are your origins? Are you a South boy or an East boy? What is the
I
answer?
would say I'm South.
Really?
I'm definitely more South.
Are you claiming South?
Of course I'm claiming
Come on,
South.
bro.
When they say...
Don't do that to us, man.
I know where we are. I don't care. I don't business. You know what I mean? I was born in South, so I have to say South.
Yeah. And then do you have much kind of memories on those first six years?
Yeah, listen, man. I remember when I was about maybe 3 years old. This is when we had outside toilets. This is how old I am.
Right.
There was no inside toilet, and you had to go to the toilet by yourself when I was like 3.
There was no inside toilet at all?
Not inside toilet. It's like a little shed out in the back
Yeah.
of the yard that you have to go to by yourself. I got distinct memories of that.
Right.
I got memories of me being in a cot as well and listening to music. I remember my mum listening to Aretha Franklin and people.
In
like
a cot?
Yeah.
That's some super memory, you know.
It's kind of
Professor
strange.
Xavier memory going on here.
And I'll go back even further. Like when we lived in Canada for a brief spell.
This brother's been everywhere in the past 5 minutes. Global, yeah. Go on.
At my cousin's, and I remember waking up in a flat, and I used to sleep on a sofa bed.
Yeah.
And waking up and feeling something like this next to me, and it was somebody's face was smiling, and I jumped up because I was like, "What was this?" It freaked me out, and to this day, I believe that's my guardian angel, because that's the one that's been guiding me this whole time.
At what age was that?
So I was about 2, 3.
So hold on. Let's just jump. So you're in Canada.
Yeah.
Holiday or living there?
We were living there.
Where in Canada?
Briefly. It's in Ontario. I can't remember the...
Colder than a mofo.
Yeah, but hot. It gets hot as well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So you were in bed as a 2-year-old.
Yeah.
You turned around.
Yeah.
And you see a face.
I see a face grinning at me. And then that made me jump up, and then I didn't see it there.
Can you describe this face?
No, it's just something like this, like somebody grinning at you like this. And
that freaked me out for life.
exactly, especially I was a toddler, you know what I mean?
And you remember this?
And I remember this to this day. Now, I when I reflect back on it, I believe that presence was my guardian angel, my guardian angel.
Have you ever seen this face since?
No, I don't need to, because I know that guardian angel is there. I've been so blessed in my career, in my life, thus far, that I believe I'm being protected and guided by presences. And I don't believe in God as such, but I do believe in the higher power.
Could it have been a dream? Be honest.
No.
Are you sure?
Absolutely, 100%.
Okay, cool. So describe Balham then in the 1960s.
Forget about that. I
South
have
London.
no memories of Balham.
South London then.
No memories of South London.
No memories of South London, but yet you're claiming you're a South Londoner.
Because I was born in. I know. I seen the papers that say that I was born in Balham Hospital.
Okay.
Which is not there anymore.
Okay.
And then, so my parents split up. Then my mum got with my stepdad, and we lived in Paddington.
This man has been everywhere.
A brief moment.
Balham, Forest Gate, Canada, Paddington. What?
Yeah,
I can't figure this shit out, bro. Okay.
And then, so in Paddington, and my stepdad, Eddie Hammer, was looking at the crypt, looking after the crypt. It was like a social club that was there, a youth club.
Right.
That's how they met. And then we moved to Canterbury. as well.
I need to draw a map, bro, on the screen, bro. This man's done, he's done toured the world, around the world in 80 days.
I ain't done yet.
Yeah, there's still some moving to do. Where are your parents from, sir?
Jamaica.
Okay,
Yeah.
Jamaican. Okay, cool. Earliest memory then of kind of London living for you? Because the 60s...
London living, well, that's the place, like I said, in East London, where my memories of, because my mum still lived at home with her mum.
Right.
And, you know, I've been born in, and then that's where we were living until...
Are you an only child?
No.
Man's laughing, like it's about to get deeper, bro.
Somebody said, I saw a thing where they said, tell me you're Jamaican without saying you're Jamaican.
Okay.
They said, my uncle's 14 and I'm 8 years older than him.
Right. So
it's that kind of thing. We're all half. I got half brothers and half sisters.
how many half brothers and half sisters do you have?
One brother passed, Sade, rest in
Sorry
peace,
to hear
came
that.
on, that was 2014. So that was 2 brothers and 3 sisters.
Okay, cool. But when you are born, are you the eldest, or is there you have siblings?
I have an older sibling, and we can go into that even deeper. There was a sister.
Is this on your dad's side? I really need...
I don't even know if I want to do this on the podcast right now.
If you don't want to, then
All right.
please swerve it. It's fine.
okay.
I'm just curious, but if you don't want to, swerve it.
Okay. Well, one of my older sisters is actually my cousin, my mum's cousin. She got adopted when she was 13. All right, by my mum.
Right.
So she became my sister. And then another sister turned up when she was 18.
Right.
To tell my dad that she's here. She thinks that he's her dad.
Right.
Oh, man, I don't know if I want to say this right now.
Then leave it. It's mad.
Because it's long. You
I
get
don't
me?
want to fast forward.
Yeah,
but it's,
yeah. I'm going to save it for the book. Don't put it in there.
It's quite ironic how you went into Eastenders, but now I'm seeing Eastenders. You get me? But we'll get to that in a minute.
That's what it came to me, because they saw that I heard the stories.
Okay. He's laughing. So it's all Eastenders.
Eastenders. It is a bit.
Okay. There's people that sat here and like from the 60s, 70s, that perspective, what was the UK like for you? Do you know what I'm saying?
At that
As
time,
a black Jamaican.
as a black youth, growing up in Canterbury especially.
Right, okay, so that's very, is it Essex, right?
No, it's
No,
Kent.
Oh, Kent, sorry,
Kent.
yeah.
It's
Sorry.
the Garden of England.
That's like, right, okay.
Yes.
Okay, so can I ask
Near
why
the
the move,
coast.
sorry, first, to Canterbury?
Because my stepdad got work down there.
Okay.
And that seemed to be and
Yeah,
we all
okay.
went with him.
So
and growing up there, I was the only black kid in the primary school.
Right.
One of only 6 in 1,200 in the secondary school.
Right.
As well. So you see the numbers were like that. And it's 80s, 70s, 80s Britain. So
Yeah.
you know what was going on.
Well, tell us, because
Well, it's the first time I ever heard the word Sambo, and
I've never heard that word.
You never heard that before?
No.
Yeah, that's exactly. That's what surprised me when I got called it. I was like, "Is he talking to me?"
Right, what is that?
Do you know what I mean?
Is that a racist term?
It's a racist term. It's like
never
it's
heard
like
it.
the N word.
Right, okay.
Basically, yeah. You Google it. It'll come up.
I'm
But
gonna take your word for it.
yeah, but and then in the institutions that I was at, like the school, I remember one kid was they were calling him Chalky. Even the teachers called him Chalky. You know what I mean? So it was in that kind of environment. I remember being in a classroom with the teachers saying, "It's not your fault, Omar. They just shouldn't have let all you lot come over here."
Okay.
You know what I mean? It was that kind of thing.
And kind of when you're hearing that, is that making you feel a certain way, or is that just normal to you? Do you get what I'm saying?
I don't give a shit, basically.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's not my constitution. I'm not a victim. And no one's victim.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm a survivor. I can get on with it as well. And plus I can give as good as I get.
Is that what you was doing?
Yeah. Well, I mean, growing up, when I was quite little, and then when I turned 14, 15, that's when I got bigger. And then everything kind of, all the piss taking, all that kind of stopped, funny enough. You know what I mean? So.
And your stepdad, what's his background? Sorry, I'm just trying to...
He was a social worker.
Okay.
Worked in
but where's he from? Is he Jamaican as well?
No. He's a white dude.
Right.
Living in, I forget who he was. Actually, no, he was from Wales.
Okay. Welsh guy.
Welsh guy, yeah. And,
Okay.
So him and my mum
Right. So
decided to move down to Kent.
Yeah.
Because they wanted to get out of London.
So the kind of racism is quite rife. But
Yeah, I remember my mum stopping me from going out playing one day because the National Front were having a march down the Canterbury High Street.
Okay.
As well. I remember kids in the school handing out National Front leaflets.
Right.
As well, especially. You know what I mean?
Right. Are you kind of too young to take this on? Do you get what I'm saying? Or is this just just your reality?
When she stopped me from going out, prevented me from going out, obviously she was trying to protect me because I was young.
Yeah.
Back then, I wasn't a big bully boy.
Yeah.
So she had to do that at the time. But that's just how it was. You know what I mean? You learn to roll with the punches, or like I said, give as good as you get.
Yeah. But then who was teaching you that mentality of you got to give as good as you get? Do you get what I'm saying? Because some people could fold the other way.
Something that I learned, you know what I mean? It's like you got to survive in this situation.
Is that from your parents, or is that just you just...
That's just how I just reacted. You know what I mean? That's how I was supposed to react.
Okay, and then are you kind of studying in school, or is that not a thing?
Yeah, I was studying, but I mean, music was my thing. By the time I got to secondary school, I was learning percussion, the euphonium, what else? Guitar,
right?
Piano.
But
do you know what I mean?
In kind of primary, are you kind of musical then, or?
That's what I'm talking about. That's what in primary. That's what I'd started.
You started this all in primary?
I'd started in primary. I got my first drum kit when I was like 6.
Right.
That my dad had bought me, and then whatever music lessons were being offered, I was picking them up.
Right.
And then by the time I got to secondary school, I was well versed in.
And this is playing instruments.
Yeah, classically as well. I was in brass bands, percussion ensembles, choirs, all kinds of things.
Are you using music because you're enjoying it, or is this a form of escapism because of, I don't know, maybe it's...
I don't know, you're trying to get deep.
No, I'm not trying to get deep, but it's a deep...
It's not deep.
It's not deep,
no, it is.
but it's a legitimate question.
You are. You're trying to get deep.
Mr.
And it's
D,
not about...
is that a legitimate question? Arbitrator. He's an arbitrator.
He's got no mic on. It's me and you.
Yes,
All right? Me and you. That's what I'm saying,
cool.
It's not that deep.
But it's a good question though, isn't it?
It's fantastic. Ask somebody else.
Okay, he swerved it. He swerved it.
It's not
that means it is deep, and he's choosing not to answer, which is fine, okay? But, okay.
Yeah, no, music is, I was born to make music.
Yes.
All right, simple as that. It's not an escapism or anything like that. I love to express myself through music.
Yeah.
I remember in lessons, music lessons in school, I had a reunion with some friends I went to school with the other day. We remembered in a music lesson, sometimes with a double period, people were doing their homework for other lessons.
Of course.
They weren't actually learning
or their
music
lines that they
because
got.
the teacher was drunk as well. Cyril Wade, drunk as a
I don't know,
skunk.
what school's these like?
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you know what I was doing? I was in the piano room practicing and writing songs. That's when I started to write songs when I was about 13, 14.
Are you practicing at home as well?
Yes.
Or is this just a...
Yeah, I was practicing at home, and then I started to learn the bass because I was listening to Level 42, and Mark King was my hero, but I didn't have a bass.
Right.
So I actually went to a music shop which had all the instruments, and they used to let you play them, and that's where I used to practice.
I'll just go there and play them.
Go there and play. I got a friend that told me that he remembers me going in there.
Yeah.
And sitting in there for about an hour just to work the stuff out. And it wasn't until my dad bought my own bass that I stopped going there.
And then just talking about your kind of influences growing up, who were the first kind of people that you was like what type of music?
Stevie Wonder, for sure.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That was a big influence.
Yeah.
His album, Secret Life of Plants, was a big thing for me. Even bigger than Songs in the Key of Life, because the production, the arrangements, the harmonies, the instrumentation, everything was just next level. Something that I wanted to go for. And like I said, Level 42 was another one.
Score for a film as well, isn't it?
It was. It's a soundtrack for a film, and I've never.
What film is it?
It's Journey Through the Secret.
Okay.
Journey Through the Secret Life of Plants.
Okay.
Film. How does that work?
Eh?
How is he scoring a film? How does that work?
I don't know. I mean, they're going to tell him what's going on, innit? Do you know what I saw?
Mr. D going deeper than me, bro.
You know what I seen? I seen an advert, and I was like, "Is it real?"
Go on.
And it was like,
AI, bro.
no, it's him playing a video game, and they're saying this game is so good. Even Stevie Wonder wants to play it.
My days.
I was like, really? Did they do that? I have to check it out because you don't know these days it could be AI.
It's AI, bro.
But yeah, he
I'm gonna put
used
it
to
out
like
there.
playing tricks on people. But that's another story. Anyway.
Okay, and then kind of singing. When are you first starting to sing then? Because the instrumentation is one thing, but then
Singing my own things.
just getting your voice kind of singing.
About 14,
Okay.
13, 14, because I started to write songs. How I used to do it is I had 2 tape recorders. You record like the beat on one, and then you play that back, and you play something else while that's playing, and record it on that one, and then you go back and forth, until you come up with a
So
whole
you're producing
production.
your own music as well?
Yeah, I was,
And
trying
what kind of instruments are you kind of fluent in now? Because it seems like you've mastered a whole bloody band here. The man's a one-man band.
I moved around, but I mean, right now it's bass, drums, and keys. That's my thing. You know what I mean? But at the time, I was trying everything.
And can you like read like notes and stuff, or is this one of them
Yeah, I can read.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And then you're not really studying otherwise in regards to other kind of lessons? Are you just...
I was doing certain things, but I was terrible. You know, I'd turn up at the lesson and copy my mate's homework just before we went into the classroom. You know
That's standard though, isn't it?
No, my girls aren't like that. Oh, bless my girls. They do their stuff, their homework straight away, there and then. They know how to do it properly. They're more like their mum, you know what I mean? So, yeah.
So then early doors, have you kind of made up in your mind that I'm going to be a singer or I'm going to be a kind of instrument player? What is it?
Yeah, I kind of thought that. I saw a thing where they were talking about session musicians earn £250 an hour. This is back in the 80s.
Wow.
I was like...
That's more than today, bro.
That's for me.
Okay.
That's for me, you know what I mean?
So you wanted to be a session player?
Yeah, anything to do with music or to do that. And then I started to do some recordings at because I used to go to London to see my dad. And he had his own recording studio on Edgware Road.
Right.
In Paddington. And it started with that. And then somehow he's talking with Dave Pearce.
Right.
Who was on Radio London, and he got him to do a session, like a radio session, so I could do 3 songs doing that. And then we got talking to some guys at Ireland. I remember this. Excuse me, because I was about 16, and I got an offer. I got like a deal offer when I was back then.
Okay, how did you get this deal? Because you're going very quick. Deals just land on your lap.
Yeah, no, this is what I'm saying. So I did a session for the radio, and through that, they heard the music and they were like, well, they want to offer me a deal. But I turned it down because I was like, I wasn't quite ready then. And
what was the deal? What was
I don't know, like a three single deal.
Right.
Maybe an EP.
Right, and how much would that have been in the...
I don't know.
Okay, and you turned that down?
Yeah, because I wanted to, because I got a scholarship to go to the Cheetham School of Music.
Right.
Which is the most, it's a very prestigious music school.
Right.
And
And you got a scholarship for that?
And I got a scholarship for that. And I decided maybe I want to do that for a couple more years. Right. I mean, I remember them asking me if I wanted to, if I want to be riding around in limousines and staying in hotels and all this. I was like, yeah, that's all good. That can wait. You know what I mean? So.
Well, that's a very level-headed way to look at things because 9.5 people out of 10 would have jumped at that straight away.
Sure.
And then what are your parents saying? Because your dad is in the music game, so surely he's saying, son, there's a deal here.
No, he left it up to me. You know what I mean? It was my decision.
That's amazing that he could say to you, right, and like for you to turn it down.
Yeah, and that was the right thing to do.
Yeah, because you wanted to study more.
Yeah.
You felt like you weren't ready.
I wasn't ready.
That's an amazing mindset, you know. You won't see that in 2025 where like someone dangles the carrot and it's right there. I take it.
Sure. But it's got to be the right carrot.
Yeah, but some people ain't got that vision. Do you understand? They haven't got that foresight of hold on.
Sure.
So you go to Manchester now.
Yeah.
Okay. You
when
live
I was
out there.
16 to 18.
What, by yourself?
No, this is the Cheetham School of Music. It's a boarding.
Yeah, but your family's...
No. This is it's boarding school.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So you opt to go to boarding school yourself. Mm-hmm. And then how is that boarding school?
Best 2 years of my life.
Swear. That's smiling. Yeah, man.
Absolutely. I mean, I didn't get any qualifications, but boy, did I do some great music.
What did you do? Hold on. What happened? What happened, man?
Well, I was studying double A-level music and double A-level music, certain things like that, but that wasn't kind of the focus.
What was the focus?
For me, because you're in a musical situation. So I was in the choir, I was in the orchestra, I was in the brass bands. We had a studio there that we could utilise. I had a friend who still to this day plays bass with me, Jerry Meehan, who had a band. He said, "You're going to sing for our band." So that's what I did. You know what I mean?
What about the freedom aspect where your parents are no longer, they're down here?
Fantastic. They're nowhere there.
That's what I mean. So you can is that taking over as well?
Have you seen Animal House?
No, sir.
Oh, how old are you?
I'm young boy still.
Come on, man.
Young boy.
How old are you?
I'm young boy.
Has he ever said how old he is on this whole thing?
No. young boy. Okay, Animal House.
Animal
I'll check
House.
it out.
It's a classic film.
Right.
About these guys who live in a frat house.
Right.
At college, but it's just pure party.
Is that what you're doing? Partying?
So that's what was going on.
So the
as well as the music. You know what I mean? So the whole environment was perfect for me to develop.
It was perfect, but you left with no qualifications.
No, but I left with lots of music.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're just making music and you're singing more?
Singing more. I was still releasing singles as well at
What
the
do you mean
same time.
still? You haven't released a single yet? I'm still, okay, you're just bringing out
This
music.
85 is
Okay.
the year of my first single.
Right.
That's the same year that I started Cheatham School of Music.
Okay, so
Are
how...
you keeping up?
I'm there,
keeping
fella.
up?
I'm there, mate.
All right,
I'm on my toes. Right. So you're bringing out music, and how are you putting it out there? Because this is not the day of the internet, is it?
On my dad's record label.
Right, your dad's got a record label.
He had a record label called Congo Dance.
Right.
Because he was a drummer in the 60s and 70s. He played with Doris Troy,
Right.
Bob Andy, Marcia Griffiths,
Right.
Young, Gifted and Black, you know that song?
Right.
And he decided to start his own label because he had his own reggae band called Ja Lion.
So you got the hookup, basically.
I got the hookup.
You got the fast track.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And what type of music are you making?
Soul music.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I was trying to emulate the people. I was trying to emulate Stevie, Level 42.
Yeah.
Jeff Lorber was another one that I was into.
And your kind of vocals, are you kind of learning, like, how are you learning your vocals? Is this just
Trial and error.
trial and error?
Trial and error. I mean, my first single, I hate it to this day. After 2 weeks of hearing this song, I mean, when it came out, I had to go and do PAs where Five Star were playing. Five Star was a huge band back in the 80s, and I had to go on after them.
Yeah.
And people weren't interested in seeing me. They just wanted to see Five Star. So
Yeah.
they'd come on stage, do their thing, and when I'm coming on, everybody's leaving.
Right.
So on top of me not liking the song,
People are
people
leaving.
don't want to
It's
listen.
disheartening.
So I decided from then, any music that I make, I have to like it.
Right.
Because you have to sing this thing for the rest of your life.
But also in that day, you really had to be able to sing. There was no corner cutting, I presume, in kind of.
Oh yeah, there's
studio
no auto tune or
That's what I mean.
any of that nonsense.
And it's literally trial and error.
Yeah, absolutely.
And are you like practicing daily with your vocal?
Yeah, well, I mean, singing all the time, playing all the time. It's music on the brain the whole time.
Yeah. Okay, so you're in Manchester, you're partying, you're living a good life, and you're bringing out music. Everything's nice.
Yeah.
What happens after that then?
After that, then I went to college at the Guildhall School of Music
So
and
you're
Drama.
back down here?
Back down in London.
Okay.
Yeah.
So why are you still kind of studying then? Do you feel like
Well, this is the thing. So I was signed up to do a graduate course, which is 4 years.
Right.
And in the first term, I was in one of the orchestra rehearsals, and I'm sitting there waiting to play the triangle on bar 104, and all they're doing is all they're doing is rehearsing the brass section, like for an hour and a half or something like that. And I'm sat like this. I just walked out.
Right.
So I'm not doing this. So they came to me and said, "Right, this may be not your thing. What about the jazz course?" So then I did the jazz course, which was only a year.
FYI, is the triangle the most pointless instrument ever created by man? Let's have it right. Yeah.
No, it's not.
It's
a very useful.
The maddest thing
Don't
is,
make me fucking pour this water
listen,
all over you. Right?
listen, let's have it right. It don't even have to be a triangle. It could be a fucking square. It will sound the same. I lie, brother.
Yeah, it is a lie. That's why it's called a triangle.
Okay, fair enough. So you go down the jazz route then?
Yeah, so I did this course. It was a diploma. It's only a year.
Right.
So I did that, kept myself occupied. But then I started to get more actual gigs and shows.
What, like live shows?
Under my name, yeah.
Right.
Exactly. So then it was just the right time. And by the time I finished that, when was that? 87. So then, yeah, I was ready to go out into the
And then the artist name Omar, is that just your name? Is that just, or was there a lot of thought
It's
behind
just
it?
always me, because growing up, I didn't know any other Omars.
Yeah.
In Canterbury, there's no Omars.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
There's a million now, bro. We just take you down the road, bro. You'll be at home. That's what I'm telling you. You're East London at heart, bro. I'm telling you, bro. Okay, fair enough. Learning the craft, do that, and then when does the big break happen, I guess, for you?
Yeah, so this is the thing. It was 5 years before There's Nothing Like This came
Right.
out. Obviously, There's Nothing Like This is the one.
Yeah.
That,
So in those 5 years, what are you doing? Touring?
like I said, I was at school,
Yeah.
then I was at college,
Yeah.
but I was releasing a single each year.
Right.
And kind of like the build up to it was quite nice. Do you know what I mean? Because the singles after the first one that I hated started to get some traction on pirate stations and the clubs, and then my name was kind of out there.
And your dad is handling the kind of distribution side of the aspect of
Yes,
the kind of
yeah, he was old school. He basically like print up a whole batch of
Old school flyer
of flyers and vinyl and stick them in a van and drive around the record shops and sell boxes of this
So
stuff.
it's kind of nice then. You've got the kind of, I suppose, the pathway sorted. You just make the music and dad will handle PR.
Sure.
Which is everyone's dream, right? Because then you don't have to worry about being on the road. Do you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Okay, cool. You drop a single every year, one a year.
One a year.
Is that too little in those days, or is that?
No, that's perfect
that
because,
about right?
like I said, I was at school. I was at school, I was at college, so I was doing other things.
Yeah.
That's just enough to keep the interest going. People knowing that I'm there.
And kind of in your mind, are you just want to be a singer? Is there kind of no kind of plan
want to be
B?
a singer. I was a singer. That's what I was doing.
Okay, sorry.
You know what I
Like,
mean? I'd actually started releasing music under my name.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
But in your mind, is there a plan B, or is this is what I'm doing? That's it.
No, this is what I was doing.
Yeah, you're not hearing nothing.
There was one point when I was like maybe 12. It was either football or music.
Right.
But band practice and football practice were the same time.
Same time.
So make a choice.
Make a choice.
You know what I mean? And why I chose.
And are you kind of working at this point as well? Any kind of part-time work, or you just
I did work in Mothercare.
Mothercare? Come on, got to, because I'm curious as to how you're kind of funding your
Funding,
lifestyle.
yeah. I was that was my first job.
Yeah.
Actually, no, I was to tell a lie. I was a paper boy.
Yeah.
So I did get some little change, but then
Be honest. Did you used to dump all of the papers under a bridge?
No.
Come on, man.
I was very good.
Everyone did that, bro.
Did you do that?
I didn't do that, but I heard about it. I'm not that.
Are you asking
I'm
for a
not that
friend?
old,
Are you
get me?
asking for a friend?
I heard a man goes to a train tracks and just dashes them. You can't say, yeah, I done it, boss man. You can't say.
Nah.
Side note: Paperboy the game was Bad Boy. There was a game called Paperboy.
Yeah, there was. Yeah. Wow. You're that old?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
No, I heard about it. I heard about it.
It's kind of marking the years
I
now.
heard about it.
Yeah, well.
Okay, cool. So you're writing your songs, and the songwriting you're just writing yourself.
Writing myself, producing myself.
Yeah.
Right, no, tell a lie again, sorry. I was working with Godwin Logie.
Right.
He produced 2 of my singles.
Yep.
Back in the day, Get It Out Your System and You and Me, which were big in the clubs and on the pirate stations.
And where is your kind of inspiration coming from to write these kind of songs?
My dad, I would say. Because my dad has this way of communicating what he wants you to do, but it's not technical. It's just sort of like a vibe.
Explain that,
so
sorry.
like it goes like, well, you need to put something in there which goes, You know what I mean? It makes
your
the
voice.
noise. It makes the noise.
Yeah.
Like it says that and this and that part goes over there. You know what I mean? It's just and then I remember him playing Keith Sweat to me and going, yeah, you see how they put this together? This is how you should put it together, and it clicked with me straight away.
So what kind of artists are you listening to as you're kind of in this space? Obviously Stevie was earlier.
It's the same people. I was listening to Stevie, Level 42, Jeff Lorber, Yellow Magic Orchestra,
Right.
Bunny Brunel, Take 6, just, yeah.
And kind of British-wise, how kind of big is the scene? Is there a scene? Is it very small?
When I first started, I hadn't found any sort of like-minded people, but then, Southern Freeze, these people had been around before.
Yeah.
And I think I was just coming after, just next after that. Incognito.
Yep.
I used to actually get drum lessons in a rehearsal room, and I found out later on it was Incognito's rehearsal room,
But the scene was very small, right? You're kind of there from the birth, really. Or would you say?
I wouldn't say that, man.
No?
It's just like, this is the time that I came. But like I said, these other people have been before. Brass Construction, Heat Wave.
Okay.
You know what I mean? These guys were Central Line. All these guys were doing it before. Links.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But there's not a huge amount of them, is what I'm trying to get
They
at.
was all on top of the pops.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I wouldn't say there's a huge amount. I wouldn't say there's a huge amount now. You know what I mean? We're kind of in the minority when it comes to the soul, the funk thing.
Yeah.
But we are there.
Yeah,
We are loud.
Yeah. Okay, so you're bringing out songs. Are any of them kind of making a substantial amount of noise before there's Nothing Like This? Or
Yeah, that's what I mean. The name was there. I mean, people still remember I had a song called I Don't Mind the Waiting, and
Right.
people still talk about that song now.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And like I said, You and Me, they were talking about as well.
Okay.
So after these, that takes up to 89.
Sorry, prior to that, have you kind of left Mothercare now, or like I'll be?
Are
we still selling?
I had
pictures?
left Mothercare because I got my first professional gig
Okay.
playing percussion for the Style Council, Paul Weller,
Okay.
on a Japanese tour in '89. So
Right.
that's when I just.
How did you get that?
I was at it was like a seminar they were doing, and Camille Hines, who plays bass for Central Line,
Right.
was there, and somebody told me to. I do this percussion thing. It's a a cappella percussion thing that I do.
Right.
And somebody asked me to do that for him.
Right.
And he said, "Yeah, that's great. I'm going on tour with Paul Weller, and he's looking for musicians.
Yeah.
Would you do that for him?" And I went, "Okay." So I went to Solid Bond.
But why didn't you tell him that I can play the triangle, Bad Boy Triangle? No.
Have we got a new presenter? Is there anybody waiting?
I'm just saying. You said you're expert at it.
You sound like my manager. She's trying to
Bro.
get on the stage with a fucking triangle.
Listen, if it's paying, I'm there, brother. I'm there. Just tell me
It's
what
not
bar.
paying, then no, you're not.
Just
All
tell
right?
me what bar. Okay, so you go to Japan.
Go to Japan.
So how was that then?
Amazing.
Yeah?
I mean, it's the first time I'm ever doing a professional gig.
Yeah.
You got your own drum tech,
Yeah.
percussion tech, sets everything up for you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, it was
And Weller's
sweet.
a big name as well.
And he's a
man.
big name, and we're doing arenas.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I've just come from doing like church halls and stuff,
Right.
and now we're doing arenas.
Yeah.
We did the Royal Albert Hall as well, so that was really my first
Taste of it, I think.
First taste of it as well.
And when you're doing it, are you kind of thinking like, this is a bit of me, like I need to be the front man out here? Like, are you kind of taking notes? Or
Yeah.
You just...
No, listen. So with the youth orchestra I used to play with,
Mm-hmm.
the Kent Youth Orchestra, we used to do the Royal Festival Hall
Right.
every year, and as a percussionist, you're always at the back.
Mm-hmm.
And I said to myself one day, one day I'm going to be at the front. And I've played there, I've headlined there twice now. So
we love that.
we just manifest.
We love that.
You have to
You don't
manifest these things.
It's that face you saw when you was 2 years old. brother.
There you go.
It's that person.
See what I'm saying?
It's that
Now you're
person.
dialing it in.
You know
All
what I
right.
mean? Okay, cool. Japan, then back.
1 second,
Go on.
sorry.
No, go on.
I feel my nose clogging up.
Go for it.
Who's making notes?
Notes on what, bro?
Yeah,
Just
you got
freestyle
it-
the
you got
whole
it all
thing.
in there.
I don't freestyle the thing. It's a conversation. You know what I mean? We just,
He's the elephant.
we
I
just,
won't ask.
we just talk the things, bro. If not, Larry D's there, bro. Look, he's got the laptop open.
Larry
yeah.
D is there.
He's got the laptop open.
Right.
Okay, cool. Back from Japan, so then you're like inspired now, yeah?
So back from Japan, and the next year was the release of. Actually, let me cycle back. So, back from Japan, then my dad says, "You know what? We need to make an album."
Right,
Because I've been making music.
right.
So he said it's time to put it all together.
Are you making money from music at this point, from the sales and stuff like that, or not really?
Meh.
No, okay.
Meh.
Well,
I think he let me get my first car out of it. So I think there was something.
What car
there.
was it?
It was
We
a
will
Vauxhall.
decide about the sales of the thing based on the car.
It's a Vauxhall Astra GTX.
Okay.
Yeah,
Big boy thing.
big
For
boy.
its
Yeah,
time,
well, it
you
was
get
at
me?
the time.
Yeah, yeah.
And yeah. So what was I saying?
Okay, so you're making money from it. All right, go on.
So then, yeah. So he says we need to make an album.
Right.
So I had all these songs together, but I hadn't, found the song as well. And then one day I'm going to my dad's record collection, and I come across this album by a band called the Ohio Players,
Right.
and it's called Skin Tight. And on there's a track called Heaven Must Be Like This,
Right.
and it's just blew me away. Because if you think about it, at that time, it's acid house, it's hip hop had just started, it's sampling, it's sequencing, nothing's organic. And this thing is bass, drums, keys, vocals, and orchestra.
Right.
And it's so slick. And I was like, why is nobody making this?
Right.
So then I just set out to do something that paid homage to that.
Yeah.
And that's when I wrote There's Nothing Like This.
Just put a pin in that. How is the kind of when hip hop comes in, electric sounds, and like, are you not at all inspired or drawn to go into that scene? I suppose
not-
hip hop was it cool at the point? Was it cool to?
It was cool, but I wasn't from that side of the tracks. My
Right.
brother was cool with that, Scratch Professor because he knew how to work the samplers and the beats.
Yeah.
Things like that. I came from playing in bands.
Yeah.
I mean, so my thing was more the live aspect.
Okay. And then kind of, it's nothing like this. Then obviously comes out. What's the inspiration? How did you write that?
I just said that.
Just from how you took it from there. No, but the actual lyrics. I'm saying, like, you know what I'm saying, not the, you know what I mean?
No, but the music came from.
Yeah.
Right, with the lyrics, I actually went. I started 11 o'clock in the day. 4 o'clock, I took a break because I did all the music.
Right.
And I had the melody, but it had no words. And then I went and bought a cup of tea.
Cup of chai, got on, mate.
You know what I'm saying? I'm winking at you right now. I went and bought some tea to get inspired.
That tea.
All right. Exactly. All right. And then
say no more.
And then
that tea.
Exactly. That tea. What we're drinking there.
Yeah.
And then the melody, and then there's nothing like this. That was just that.
Right.
And then from everything else just came from the title.
Just talking about the iconic bass line at the start. That where does that come?
Listen to the Ohio players. Heaven must be like this.
So you stole their things basically.
I was influenced.
Is there a lawsuit pending from these man?
Only if it comes from you.
Is it bait, bro? You get me? Okay, fair enough. When you make it, do you feel like it's the one, or you kind of
when I made the demo, I made a cassette.
What's a cassette? Sorry.
Look it up, boys and girls. Google it. All right.
Yeah, I heard about
Siri
that.
or Google or whatever.
I've heard about that. Go on.
Or Alexa.
Yeah.
And just repeated the song over and over again. So 45 minutes on one side of just this one song repeating.
Right.
Didn't get bored of it. So then I played it to my dad and his work colleagues. Didn't get bored of it. So then we were like, I think this is the one.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? And then obviously the rest is history.
Well, let's talk about that history. Song comes out. Does your dad put it out then?
Yeah, it's on Congo Dance.
Okay, cool. So then when is the first kind of thing for you, like this tune is doing something? Do you know what I mean?
Just doing the PAs.
Yeah.
Because I'd been doing like those random clubs or bars where nobody's listening to you. You know what I mean? You're just there to kind of entertain, but they're not really there for you. And then when I actually did something that people came to see me, that was like, wow. And actually, I played the Hammersmith Odeon. That's what it was called back then. And I headlined there. That's when I knew that's when we...
Is that the turning point for you when you did that?
Yeah, but because after the initial release, Giles Peterson, Norman J were running the label Talking Loud. And they came to see us at my dad's office and they said they'd love to take the album on. And then that's where we said, yeah, let them take it. Because they made it international. My dad made it national, but then they took it international, basically. And that's when I started to travel the world, travel the globe, and then people that, they're singing a song. They're speaking a different language, but they can sing the song. That's the crazy.
So how are you taking this fame? You've landed now. The world is appreciating your art craft.
Gratefully.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is it kind of, I don't know, are you kind of big-headed with it? Is it kind of a lot to take? I don't know. Is
it a lot to take? No, listen, I've always been a show-off. I've always wanted to be the one that stands out from the crowd.
Yeah.
I used to body pop in Canterbury.
Everyone used to body pop. Come on, with the lino. Don't make pull out the lino, you know.
With the lino.
It gets busy up in here.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And from that, I remember walking down in town and people were going, Omar, you know what I mean? And I liked that. There was a nice little buzz from that. This is just, doing it on a bigger scale.
And then kind of, how does the album do in terms of kind of sales and stuff?
It did all right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then what, is it just the pressure to kind of maintain or?
Because then we're with a major label.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? And they have different
So the major labels come in
and
they want, what about the deal from the major label? Are you kind of aware of what you're signing or, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, kind of, you know what I mean? But listen, it's the music first and foremost for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but some will say that, but then obviously some people they feel like the deal is where, I don't know, there may be... No?
No.
Okay.
As long as there was a deal that I could make the music.
Okay.
That's the main thing.
And can we kind of talk about earnings or not? Or is that something you swerve?
You can't talk about it.
Is it good? Is it healthy? Are you happy with it? Looking back, was it the right deal for you then? Rather than you telling me?
I've used several labels. I've been on several labels.
Yeah,
it's a learning curve. Nothing's perfect.
What have you learned?
I don't have the gold Rolls Royce, all right? It's not platinum Rolls Royce or nothing like that.
Yeah.
It's not that kind of lifestyle for me.
Okay.
But I can feed the kids, and I don't need a second job.
So what have you learned from all of these labels? Throughout all of these labels you've been through, what are kind of the highlights that you would say
the highlight?
You've learned from these labels? Do you know what I'm saying?
You learn about what they're about, what's the thing, if they're good enough for you, if they got your interest at heart.
Right.
Because that's the main thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I used to, my second album, I used an orchestra. I had Chris Cameron do string arrangements for me.
Right.
And one of the executives said, that's really nice, but could you change the strings for synthesizers?
Right.
I was like, what the hell for? Because it was obviously cheaper for them to do it that way.
Yeah.
I was like, no way. And then the next minute, I see Jason Donovan, who's on the same label, in his video using an orchestra, and it was the same orchestra that I was.
You're saying Jason Latif?
Well, he didn't teeth mine, but it's
What?
that.
Hey, Jason, we're sending for you. No. Shall we send for Jason, bro?
Send for Jason, bro.
Okay. And then the kind of genre itself, what is it? Because all of these names pop up: acid jazz, neo soul, R&B. Like, what would you define if you had to? Do you get what I mean?
I would say soul music.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They give it that title to, make a distinction between
Is it
the
kind of
original.
frustrating the way all of these names come out and I don't know, neo soul? What's that?
It makes no difference to me.
But okay, it makes no difference. But
It's
then
not
when
like-
they
it's
kind
not
of
like-
put
it's not
you
like
in
I'm
these
sat-
kind of brackets, does
It's not
it?
like I'm sat there trying to work out what I'm going to call it. I'm just making music.
Yeah, I hear that. But is it frustrating for you to be put into these little boxes? I don't know. Like, oh,
Like I said, it
No?
don't make no difference.
okay.
Not to the music that I make. You know what I mean? It's all about the vibe that I'm doing. I'm not thinking about who's going to play it or what the name of it is. I'm just enjoying myself and then hoping that the people that listen to me are going to get the same enjoyment.
Okay, so your name spreads far and wide, okay, as far as America, do you know what I mean, global. How is that to take, firstly? Because there's no internet.
That's nice.
And people are really...
That is nice.
Yeah.
Italy, France, Germany. Like I said, when you're in places that you don't speak the language, but they know the music, that's something, that's a real boost.
Do you feel the pressure that you're flying the flag of Britain in that kind of scene? No? Because who else is doing it?
I don't know. I wasn't.
Do you get what I mean?
Wasn't really bothered. I mean, Sade was doing her thing.
Obviously, yeah, okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I keep hearing that name, and then you see.
Okay, but just to have your name with Sade is epic proportion. That's Champions League business.
Sure.
Let's have it right.
Okay.
Do you get what I mean?
All
so
right.
how is that for you? That must be lovely, bro.
You're doing that psychiatrist thing again.
I'm not,
aren't you?
brother. I'm so. What
You're
is
so
this guy?
doing that.
How is
What is it? Why? Do I need to lean back?
What is it,
Does this
bro?
chair lean back?
Listen,
So-
if you can't handle the depth, brother, man can just say Larry D. But it's a
I didn't know you, Larry D. I didn't know you get me on the psychologist.
But it's not that. It is
So-
an amazing thing. And I think, not in an egotistical way, sometimes you have to just call it what it is, bro. You've been doing this for 40 fucking years, bro.
Absolutely.
So, you get me? I'm not here to blow smoke up your ass. Just facts. Do you get what I'm saying? I've got, you understand? I'm
Yeah.
going to do this interview and whatever.
Sure.
But I'm just kicking the facts, bro. Your name is with these legends, bro.
Yeah.
Global.
I don't watch that.
Okay, but maybe you should watch it just
No,
for acknowledgement.
No, why should I acknowledge it?
Because
after
you earned it.
40 years.
Because you earned that shit. You did that shit. He didn't do that shit. I didn't do that shit.
Yeah.
So
Well, you're asking me
you don't-
about it, and I'm telling you, I don't think about it. So you need to ask me something
Well,
else.
perhaps you should
All
just
right?
sometimes at
No,
home. At
no,
home. Oh, hear what I'm
no.
saying? At home, overnight, with your char, have a seat and just reflect. Do you get what
Listen,
it's
I
a
give
beautiful
thanks.
thing, bro.
I give thanks for my career.
Yeah.
All right. But I don't think about it in the way that you're asking me.
Okay, that's cool.
You understand?
That's a very humble approach.
Because people lump me with. I've heard Stevie, I've heard Prince, all these other people that I get. I'm like, I'm nowhere in that category. That's not. You know what I mean?
If your name is in those sentences, people are. It's there
It's
for
a
a
blessing.
reason.
It's a blessing and it's an honor, and I appreciate it. But I don't think about it.
It's a very humble approach, but you're saying, oh, people are saying Stevie and that. You got a song with Stevie, so
Yeah.
So there must be some truth in what a man's saying.
There's a connection.
I know there's a connection,
Yeah.
and we're gonna go there.
I know, but that's you know what I mean.
No, fair enough. But I'm just a fan, and I'm saying, right, okay, this is what I can see.
Okay.
Do you get me? And
Uh-huh.
people that I've spoken to throughout my life,
Right.
yeah, when certain names have popped up, Omar, Sade, etc.,
it comes
we have to
into-
respect it.
Okay.
We have to respect it.
I'll take that.
So talking about the Stevie thing, Stevie, obviously you said was one of your idols in regards to where you got your inspiration from.
Yeah.
So then how does that transcend into, wow, I'm now actually working
So
with Stevie?
92, I got a new manager, Keith Harris, and Keith Harris looks after Stevie when it comes to
Right.
to UK. And when he looks out, generally works with him. But he played in my second album, Music, and Stevie said he loved the album, and he wanted to write me my first #1. I'm like, I don't care where it goes. Let's just work together. You know what I mean? That's my hero,
Right.
basically. So then, 92, 93, I go to LA, and mind you, this time I'm working with Lamont Dozier. I'm working with Leon Ware,
Right.
as well. David Frank from the System.
Right.
Sarita Wright
Right.
was another one, and they told me that Stevie was around. Be at home at a certain time because you're gonna get the phone call.
The call.
The
and
call.
there's no mobiles like that. You need to
Exactly.
be-
So
need
you
to
got to
be
wait
in.
by the house phone. So about midnight, I finally get the call and says, "Right, get your ass down to
Studio.
Wonderland." Thank
Right.
you. Studio at Wonderland.
Yeah.
So I get down there. Another 2 hours. I'm waiting. And Stevie finally turns up and he's like, "Yeah, come on, let's go to the production."
Okay,
suite."
how was it meeting Stevie for the first time?
No, I've met him many times before that. That's what I'm saying to you.
How? When? The man just bypassed. You get me? He's your idol, bro. When's the first time
I
you met
can't
Stevie,
just-
bro?
I
What do you mean
met-
you can't? You can.
I've met him several times. This is what I'm saying. It's
Okay.
it's like 6 different
Okay,
increments.
What's the first time you met Stevie?
The very first time, and
Yes.
I'm not even sure that we actually shook hands, was in 1984. And I remember this because I just came back from America,
Right.
New York. I'd had fat laces in my shoes because nobody had fat laces for
Right.
the hip hop thing.
And Stevie said, "Wow, I can see you got
And
fat laces."
what are you doing? You're
Sorry.
spoiling my.
Oh, sorry.
I'm
sorry.
just- I'm flowing here.
I was joking, bro. Sorry, go on. Sorry, I apologize. Go on.
So, Mozart Estate
Right.
in West London, it was a very notorious estate. They had a fair at the time. And I went around the back and I'm just hanging out. And who turns up? Stevie Wonder. And he comes out to the crowd and he says, "Look, I know some of you couldn't come to see me, so I came to see you." And I was like, wow, that's a big deal. There's a picture of him and my brother. He's got his arm around my brother as well. So that could be the first time that I would have
Right.
shook his hand.
Yeah.
Then the next time I met him was after some show. And then the next time was when he did the show in Wembley.
Okay.
Wembley Arena. And that's when Keith gave him
The CD.
the CD and told him to have a listen.
Right.
And so anyway, we go to the production suite, and we're talking, and then he starts talking about the price of fish. And I'm like, well, and then he's like, he fell asleep because he'd been out that long. So I was like, all right, okay, that's the end of that session.
Right.
So then fast forward, I had to wait another 8 years.
What?
Yeah.
8 years? That's a long sleep, bro.
Because
Brother, where did you put him? In a bloody cryogenics? What's this, Demolition Man? Hold on. So he fell asleep at the actual session?
At the session. So I had to say, right, okay, look, man needs to sleep because he's been up all day.
Did you not want to just give him a little slap? Oh, Stevie, what happened? Oh, hello, mate, what happened? Oh, wake up.
No, I tell you what, it hadn't occurred to me.
Nah.
To
Or a little dig.
To slap Stevie Wonder, no.
Just
Didn't
a
really
little
occur to
dig
me.
like, yo, wake up, man. Man got bars to write. Okay, so there wasn't talk of doing that session anytime? That's crazy.
No, because I had to leave soon after that. So I had to wait for the next time that he was gonna be around.
Okay.
So fast forward to so it's 1999. I get a phone call at home. It's like,
Randomly.
Yo, man, it's your boy. I'm like,
It's your boy.
like, who's-
Have you woken up, bro?
I'm like, who's that? He goes, Steve. I went, Steve who? And he went, Stevie Wonder. I went, yeah, right. And he sings. I said, sing something for me. And he sings for me. And I'm like, oh my God. And then for 2 weeks, I was like his ambassador because we went club, we went hotel, we went restaurant. And then finally we went studio
Right.
as well. We put something down, which was a vibe. And then the next morning he calls me and goes, I got another tune. And that tune is Feeling You. So, yeah.
What was it actually like when you finally recorded something? Did you feel like...
Amazing. I mean, this dude is like, he's everything you want Stevie Wonder to do in the studio.
Okay.
He's on a keyboard. He's singing. He's on the drums. He's cracking joke.
2 points. Can Stevie C? Be honest, because I'll be hearing some people say that.
What kind of that question?
Brother,
What kind of
I see
idiot?
one video of the man say he's driving the car.
Yeah, that's bullshit.
Is it bullshit?
Yeah.
Mr. D.
That's what you said, isn't it?
Thank you. No? Listen, I've got to ask.
Lionel Richie said.
Lionel Richie will be saying
Bullshit.
Stevie be driving cars.
Although I tell
See?
you, have you seen the documentary about We Are the World?
No.
The making of
Right,
We Are the World, the song.
Yeah.
There's a bit when Ray Charles needs the toilet.
Right.
And Stevie says, I'll show you where it is. And it literally was the blind leading the blind.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then also Dr. Dre and Snoop recently were saying Stevie be ringing at some weird times because he has no concept.
No, that's what I'm saying. He
you
goes
get
until
me?
he falls asleep.
You get me? He goes until he falls asleep. Okay, the song comes out. That must be an amazing co-sign for you. Probably one of the greatest you could
Absolutely.
possibly.
And on that same album, I had Erykah Badu
Okay.
as well.
And then how did that happen?
She came to London, said that she was a big fan. She was on Choice FM, I think, talking about what music she liked. And she named me and said that she loved the song Little Boy.
Right.
And then we made contact. And then I was making the song, Be Thankful. And she called me out the blue as well then. I said, oh man, I've got this tune for you. You want to sing? She was like, yeah, no problem. So yeah, we recorded the vocals in New York.
Speaking of Little Boy, a little birdie tells me, I might be right here, that Usher was singing that to Estelle recently. Are you aware of this?
Yes.
See? How do I know these things?
I don't know.
How do I know?
I think it's that big birdie in the
How
corner.
do I know? Yeah. I mean, how is that for you when these bona fide stars really got to pay the respect?
I heard that's it's the same song that Angie Stone was playing to D'Angelo as well.
Yes.
Every time I've seen him, it was like he was telling me he was gonna sing that at one of his concerts as well. So it's beautiful, man. I love the appreciation.
What kind of singers are you personally rating, like from these kind of era here now?
From this era or that era?
Let's say the 90s era, the 90s era. Is there anyone that you or are there any standout singers, Stevie aside, of course, that you really like? I really feel what they were doing.
Stokely from Mint Condition.
Right.
Serious vocalist. I mean, Usher's another one. Just crazy.
Yeah.
Vocal skills. You know what I mean?
Do you feel like you get the respect that you deserve in the UK? Because I don't feel like you do. I'm gonna put that out
It
there.
depends who you're talking to. I mean, the mainstream, not so much.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't know.
And why is that? I feel like the mainstream is not giving you your flowers.
Do not know.
And it's pissing me off, to be honest.
Okay, well, you have a word
What do
with
we
him.
do?
Have a word with him.
What do we do, bro? But you know what I mean?
Shout it from the rooftops.
You really got a really amazing legacy here.
Sure.
Side note, right? I used to get £10 a month from my dad, right? That was my dinner money, and that used to last the whole week. And I used to go to our price, right? Because on a Monday, the CDs were £1.99 before they went to $3.99. Now, if I buy a CD for $3.99, I'm fucked. I'm hungry all week.
Right.
So I used to go and buy, this is just one story of one person, me. I used to go there and buy whatever single I could for $1.99, okay? One day I go in there, yeah, and do you know what tune I buy, bruv? Omar, Say Nothing.
Oh, wow.
Oh
okay.
my God.
Something different. All right.
ODB. Yeah?
Wow.
Yeah. So, and let me tell you.
So you're marking your age.
No,
there.
I'm not marking
you're
my
marking
age.
your age.
No.
Then say
Let me
nothing, and you were getting pocket money.
Listen.
Back then, so 13.
Listen, let me tell you something. You see that tune? That's my tune, bro.
Say nothing.
Say Nothing
Okay.
is my fucking tune.
Nice.
And do you know what I love about that? It's it's my tune. Like, I don't know, like it might not be everyone's tune, but if you know, you know. Like, and I feel like you're one of them artists. Like, if you know, you really know.
Sure.
Do you know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm noticing. If you know, you know. If you don't, you don't.
But when you know, it's like you fully know. Like if someone said to me, Omar, say nothing, I'll go mad, bruv. I said, what? It's like they touched a nerve. Do you get what I'm saying?
Right.
But let me tell you something. I rinsed that tune even to this day, bro.
Wow.
Yeah. What an amazing record, firstly. How do you get ODB on the tune? Because that's another. Do you get what I'm saying?
That
Like,
was
ODB is
You know, I never actually physically met him.
right.
I was actually in the States when he was in London, and one of the guys at the label at BMG RCA was, with him somewhere, and he was like, "Oh, we got this artist got a track, we want to do a remix, would you rap on it? He said, yeah. I think it would cost a bottle of Baileys, 10 grand and a couple of hookers.
Money well spent, if you ask me, bro. Money well spent. But honestly, that's my jam.
That's your tune.
And I
Thank you.
I have to say that.
I always appreciate when people name other tunes,
specific ones that you think are not,
than the main one.
Then there's nothing like this.
You know, because it's a lot of music.
That is my absolute. You get me?
No, respect,
Man, I have to say
respect.
that. So then carrying on, then like, is it kind of hard to keep this train running, or like how do you see it? Do you know what I mean? When you're kind of doing music and it's like you have to maintain, I don't know, Omar, like the star.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Well, there's a level of money that you got to make to survive, to live.
Right.
It's the basic amount that you got to do.
Right.
And there have been rocky times where it's like, the money's not coming in, and
Right.
you got to find out which ways you're gonna to make it work. But luckily, I've managed to, get from one pit to the other. I mean, I've been to 4 or 5 different record labels.
Yeah.
As well.
Is that through just like trends of music? Sometimes it's up and it's down, or
It's just kind of like who's looking after your music, because then you have to know. Like you said, you say that people aren't appreciating my music. It's like who's willing to play it, who's willing to give it the pedestal that it deserves.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You have to look for these people, and they're not always there.
and kind of how do you see the scene now then? Like in this day and
I
age?
think it's still hard for artists that are doing, the soul music, the neo soul.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because we're still in the background.
Right. What's the difference between soul and neo soul? Because I still don't know.
Soul is the original.
Right.
You know what I mean? Neo soul, and then it was first it was neo-classic soul.
But who is coming up with these words?
I think it's a dude called Kedar Massenberg that came up with the
Right.
neo-classic soul, the neo
Do you
soul.
think these sub words are needed?
Not
really?
Like I said to you before, I don't care, right? You can call it
Yeah.
alien hip-hop if you like, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It doesn't
Yeah.
matter to me.
Okay, fair enough.
Because it's his names.
But how do you see the scene today? Do you know?
It's very healthy. I mean, there's so many. I mean, with the internet, you can now see everybody doing their thing.
Yeah.
And there's so many great singers.
Yeah.
So many great musicians as well. So I feel sorry for the people coming up now, because they really, they have to do something special to stand out from the crowd.
Right.
You know what I mean? You need to have something that that puts you in the memory of people.
And then this kind of TikTok world, or this kind of like art form perhaps, where like real singing is maybe not at the forefront. Does that kind of frustrate you? People are kind of blowing up overnight with, I don't know, gimmicks or, I don't know, auto-tune, and whereas you've come from the real craft of learning your voice, learning instruments.
If I was worried about it, or if it bothered me, then it would bother me, but it doesn't make a difference to what I do. You know what I mean? I've got enough people around me that appreciate what I do, that they're into that. They're good taste in music as well, and that's what we deal with. Whatever noise is going on around, that's fine. You can do all that.
How many albums have you made? Do you even know?
This is my 9th.
Your 9th
Well,
album.
I got it's 10 if you include the anthology.
Let's include
Actually,
it.
11, because there was another compilation that was done before that.
Okay.
But the 9th studio album that I made is Brighter the Days, which is out June 6th
Yeah.
on Impressive Collective, BBE Music.
Right. And BBE's BD, is it BBE or
Larry
BBE?
D.
BBE. Larry, can you just explain the label, because you were talking off camera about
And
how...
Enunciate.
Yeah, loudly.
First of all, Greg's going to kill us all for not mentioning Impressive Collective.
Right.
I just said that.
Yeah, no, I won't say it.
Oh,
Say it. Say it with chest.
Yeah, can't not mention it, but BB is like probably the longest running independent British label,
Yeah.
I would think. Like started in '96 doing like house and ventured into hip hop and everything in between, really, jazz. So done reissues from Roy Ayers and new projects from Roy Ayers and people like Omar now, do you know what I mean? Hugh Masekela, lots of legends have been there, released Jay Dilla's first album, first solo project, works with Madlib, bunch of stuff, so just keeping it going really, and it's always just good music.
It's very much a small label, right? Like it's like an independent label, right?
Yeah.
What was your thought pattern into kind of working with these guys?
Well, I'd worked with Greg Borman,
Right.
who, because previous to this label, I was with Freestyle.
Right.
And Greg was working with them.
Right.
Then he moved over and started his own label, Impressive Collective, which is with BB. and it just seemed like the right fit. I mean, I've come from the independent background with my dad's label as well, but it's just a vibe, you know. It's like when I worked with Giles and Norman at Talking Loud. You know, these guys appreciate music. I mean, the office, the BBE office, there, it's a club.
Right.
It's a record store and a club and a bar.
I'm
Do you know
looking
what I
at
mean?
membership still. Yeah.
I'm like, where are the offices? That's
Right.
it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The dance floor, basically. And I just feel at home. There,
Well,
so, yeah.
Are you kind of more about that thing with people one-to-one as opposed to the big labels or like the big mechanisms?
This is
Do you
where
get
it's
what I'm
at.
saying?
Well, this is what I'm saying, because with the big labels, then, you know, I mean, they have their minions working for them. It's not like a one-to-one thing, unless you're the artist that they want to promote. Do you know what I mean? Because other than that, you're just a tax write-off. Do you know what I mean? You've got to spend some money to get rid of that, and they don't really care what happens to you. Whereas this feels like you're at home. You know what I mean? It feels like family as well. When we're doing meetings, we're all having a laugh. You know what I mean? It's not like a meeting at all. Exactly.
Side note, a memory,
You get stoned,
a memory,
have a
just,
drink.
a memory just come to my mind.
Right, go
I
on.
think I was in CC Club once.
Or CC Club.
It's in Leicester Square,
Uh-huh.
and there was an MTV live bass lounge thing. Was it bass lounge live?
That sounds
The
familiar.
first ever one, and you were the headliner. It's the first time I ever saw you live. Yeah, you were there.
What year was that?
Oh mate, I don't know. Yeah, it was back in the day. I was too young to be in there, but I was in there.
Right.
And
Okay.
and I remember how the one thing I took from that was how chilled you were when you were on stage, because you had a drink in you and you was like, yeah, they just asked me to come to sing a couple of songs, and I did it. And the one thing I took from that, because I was a kid, was how was you singing so good but so blasé about it? Do you know what I mean? That's the one, because you were so relaxed.
Right.
Yeah, but you were just killing it, bro. Like, is this just like time, like gig after gig after gig, just earning the stripes of it?
Sure,
It's just
yeah.
second nature to you.
Yeah, it's second nature. I mean, like I said, I'm a show off. I like performing in front of people. I've been doing this since I was, you know, in primary school to perform. You know, whether it be the choir, the brass band, the percussion ensembles, what have you. It's always been in front of people. You know, so yeah, it kind of is second nature.
Is there anyone that you would like to work with that you haven't?
I keep saying Pharrell.
Okay.
Because I love NERD, Neptunes, their production is kind of like akin to what I like is the organic sound. They're
Right.
not so much into all these fancy effects and things. They're into the grooves and just bangers, you know what I mean? Stuff that we're still listening to this day.
And what about kind of artists, vocalists, like, or rappers or anything like that?
Anderson Paak, I was in the studio with him the other day, but that was just...
Man just did that at the start, yeah.
Well, no, because there's a friend of mine, Maurice Brown, who's plays trumpet for him.
Right.
On his live sets, he said, "Yeah, come through." And I was like, I like the way that he worked as well. But that's wow. You know what I mean? But
Where?
he's next level. Absolutely next
If he's
level.
dead, then you're dead, innit, brother? How you mean? How you mean? Bro, you got to back yourself a bit more, you know. What's going on here,
I
bro?
do.
I really
do.
hope you do, bro. Because let me tell you something, bro.
Right.
People rate you globally. I can't remember who it was, bro, on MTV once. It's mad that his memory will come back. I think it was Puffy, bro. But he was standing there and there was a T-shirt with your face on it, bro. I think it was him, bro. But I was thinking, bro.
Sean John.
Was it
Yeah,
Sean?
yeah.
See, I remember that. Even he's shocked. How do I know this?
That was a bootleg though.
But you was on what do you mean a bootleg? So you was on the Sean John.
So yeah, they made there were these
shocked
T-shirts.
face.
There were these T-shirts going around. It was me, Snoop Dogg, Busta Rhymes,
Yes.
on these T-shirts, and it was like lawsuit. Yeah, here we go. And then had people investigating, and it was bootleg.
But I think I've seen him wear, Puff Daddy himself wear that.
Nah, you wouldn't have seen him wear.
Bro, I'm telling you.
If you see that,
I've
if you get that,
seen,
I
bro,
want to see
someone
that. But it's
I
a bit-
saw on MTV once.
It's a bit late now.
It's
innit?
a bit late now. Lucky you didn't get invited to them party there. You get me? So you dodged the bullet, fella.
Yeah, I know,
But
I
I'm
know.
saying, I'm sure, because I saw, okay, your face, Sean John, like.
Sure. Yeah. No, it does say.
But
Sean.
just the fact that you are included in like these other people,
Listen.
is that not mind blowing?
It is. You know, I was in Antigua one time in a taxi, and I saw my face going past on a T-shirt.
Right.
I was like, what the hell? And then somebody was telling me they were in Hong Kong, and they saw me on the side of a handbag as well. But all these things is bootleg, and when you get bootleg, it's hard to track them
Yeah,
down.
okay, money-wise, fair enough. But the mere fact that people would put your face amongst the...
Sure.
is amazing. And I think I kind of get why you don't process it, because it's probably a bit too much to process, bro. Like, what do you do with it, bro?
Is, I mean...
Do you get me? Like, man is on T-shirts with all of these faces. You see Aaliyah on T-shirts. You see Tupac on T-shirts. You see Busta Rhymes. Who in the... You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, respectfully, I don't see Craig David on a T-shirt. And he's big. No.
Sure.
Do you get me?
I'm sure they're Craig
No,
David
okay, probably is. Okay, probably is. But I'm saying, like there's a coolness to, like, you get me?
Sure.
Something about Omar, like, yeah.
Right.
That's mad, bro. Let's talk about the album. When's it out?
June 6th.
Okay.
Yeah.
Roughly when this is out, we're gonna time that. Okay. Out now. Go pop that.
It's out
you
now.
Get me? Okay. Is there a certain thought process when you attack an album? Is it always different?
I'm always constantly making music, but when you put an album together, it's like putting a puzzle together. You have to, all the pieces have to fit,
right?
And it has to tell a story. When you start it, you don't stop listening till it's finished,
right?
So that takes a certain amount of strategy putting stuff together. I started to think about it during the pandemic,
right?
Because when the last album was 2017, so the pandemic was 3 years later.
Yeah.
And I'd already started, like I said, you're constantly working this music. But yeah, it was all about, the lockdown, the restrictions that we had. Nobody could see their families.
Okay.
Nobody could bury their loved ones. All these things were quite dark, nobody on the streets and things. So I just thought of ways to, I would just... So there's got to be a better time. We're going to get through this,
right?
Basically. And when I wrote the song Brighter the Days, that was with friends of mine that we did like a writing weekend. I gave the melody to my friend Vanessa Simon,
right.
who I produced before, amazing singer. Because this album, I was like, I've said enough. I need somebody else to write the lyrics for me. And she wrote Brighter the Days.
Right.
And I was like, that's the name of the album, because it just spoke to what I was thinking about. We're going to get through this. I wrote a song in there called It's Going to Be All Right as well. You know what I mean? Because it was just like, it seems dark right now, but we'll get through it. You know what I mean? I started the album with my daughters. They sing on the introduction.
Oh, we love that.
As well. And that was kind of just sort of like a sign to say that they're my reason for living. They're my purpose in life.
How old are your kids, sorry?
They're 17 twins. They'll be 18 this year.
Are they singing like, are you...
One is an amazing singer. I mean, no, they both sing. Strike that. I'm going to say it again.
He said it.
I'll kill it.
Drop me
They're
out the
gonna kill me.
politics. Drop me out the politics. I'm not into the politics.
No,
Let me just drink my tea.
Both my daughters can sing, but one is taking it to her heart. Like she sings all day, every day.
Yeah.
She just had a part in a musical as well. And at 17,
right.
Like I was saying, I was still developing my voice at that time.
Right.
Hers is amazing right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, the whole point to set up the album was to say that they're my purpose for living, they're my reason. Beautiful. And then we crack on with the rest of the album.
And then how many tracks on the album? Because like I was told I would have a vinyl here to show people, but
18.
Maybe I
you
just
did?
want to.
I got one in the back of the car.
See, I would have done the thing. You get me?
Do you want me to get it? No, I need a piss anyway.
All right, listen, pause. We're coming back, baby. Right, as if by magic, ladies and gentlemen, we have landed Brighter the Days, the album, vinyl as well.
Vinyl, CD, download, whatever you want.
Why the vinyl and CD in the 2025 era?
Because people want vinyl. People want vinyl now.
Yeah.
And you know what they want as well? I find out it's cassettes.
Really?
Yeah, it's people collecting cassettes.
TDK 90.
I didn't know they had machines that played them still.
Really?
But
so that is that a real market then? So is this like a limited production then? I presume. How many of these have we seen? Do we know? Have we not? 3,000?
Maybe, yeah.
There's 2,999, ladies and gentlemen, because you better believe this motherfucker's mine. You know what I mean? And then inside, talk to me about this. What? Okay.
Well, the cover is taken by a friend of mine, Benji Reed.
This one?
Who I've known for years, yeah.
Right. Talk to me about the artwork then.
Well, we went to the Seven Sisters, because I live in Brighton.
Right.
And the cliffs around there just seem to be the right spot. But he does the thing where he's always floating, which I like that kind of thing. So yeah, we managed to produce this picture, and you see that patch of light there.
Yeah.
That's the brightness that we were looking for.
Beautiful. And then how many tracks are we looking at?
18.
Okay. India Irie on here. Gigs is on here.
Gigs,
Okay.
yeah, the landlords.
Side note, the tune with Bashy's cold, you know, London
Oh,
Town.
London Town.
So where is that? I tried to download it on the Spotify. Ain't there, bro.
I don't know. I've always with Bashy.
How does it work when people want to work with you? How does that work then?
Just contact management.
Because you must get a barrage of...
I've got probably as many songs as my albums that are features with other people.
Right. And
well.
what is it that you look for? Does the song just have to be good, or is it
I just have to vibe on
Yeah.
it, you know what I mean? It just has to be the right thing. I've done a couple where I was like, I don't know why I did that.
Okay,
so
such
I'm
as?
I'm not
Come
gonna
on, bro.
This is my first rodeo. I'm not
Time
gonna
to be
tell you.
open, you
I'm not
get
gonna
me?
tell you,
This
bro.
is therapy, baby. Come on, let it out. Okay.
For you.
Okay, cool. So there's a couple that you thought... Okay.
Yeah, so I try and avoid the ones that aren't good, you know what I mean? And generally, yeah, they're pretty good. But if they're not, I just say no.
How many kind of things do you get often? Like, you must get fucking... Like,
Quite a few.
Yeah.
I mean, every other week, you know, every 2-3 weeks, somebody's asking me to do something. But like I said, it's not like I say yes every time.
cool. And then just kind of on this, are there any personal favourites on here for you, or is it just your baby?
These are
in
all
general?
my babies.
Yeah.
Every album are my babies as
Okay.
well. I'm not going to start picking them out. You know what I mean?
What asking it, bro?
And they're all for different occasions, different moods.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You won't play certain songs at certain times.
Yeah.
And you would certain songs
Okay.
at certain times.
Paul Weller's on the album here.
Yes.
How did that work? Is that just a phone call? Say, I was a triangle man at your concert. Paul, it's me.
Yeah, because we kept in contact from
Yeah.
from the time that I played with him when I was 18.
Yeah.
But and then I realised we've never played together. So then I said, look, what about
Right.
doing something together? He said, yeah, come to the studio, Black Barn, and that dude saved my life to do this album. And
What do you mean saved your life?
I'm just so grateful to him because I'll tell you off camera.
Okay.
But it was just amazing that he let me record in his studio. That guy is the most humblest superstar that I know.
I think Devlin sat here and said that he was his greatest, most inspiration, and he met him and he was the perfect. You know, people say don't be idols.
He's the mod father. He's a don. I got no bad.
I said the
words.
mod father. I've never heard that lyric.
Yeah,
Hey,
man,
I
we
love
talk
that.
Yeah.
I love that. And then just a side note, how was your COVID? You know, different time.
Yeah, it was a little bit difficult at first because I was living in London when my daughters were in Brighton, and I couldn't get to see them. Wasn't driving. One suffers from asthma, so I didn't really want to do that. So it was tough not being able to see him. Thank God for FaceTime and the technology that we managed, that we were in that period of time that we could at least see faces.
The album is aptly called Brighter the Days. It does seem like we're in kind of dark times right now. I don't know. How do you see the world in 2025?
Yeah, there's a lot to be worried about. I can see that for people. I just hope that the music gives them some kind of.
What's your view on the world? Are you kind of vocal about things that are happening in the world, or do you just keep that aside? You know, some people like to talk about politics.
I've got my opinions. I don't know. I'm not the one that sits on stands on a soapbox and starts shouting at people.
No, but
telling what to do. I'm of the thinking now that I want to love everybody and love to be loved. You know what I mean? I've got time for everybody. I think it's more that connects us than divides us. And I think the powers that be would love to divide us.
Yeah.
Where there's, like I said, we can break bread, we can drink, smoke, whatever you know what I mean? There's things that, or listen to music together. There's so much more, and I'd rather focus on that. And
I think with this like cancel culture, people are just afraid to just speak what they feel. They feel like they actually can't. Do you know what I mean? There is that as well, but that's the other thing as well. I mean, you know, it's when you like putting other people down or just having a go. I'm just done with that, man. I just want to. I prefer to find the good in everyone. You know what I mean? There could be a little bit of good or a massive amount, but there's good. You got to find that somehow. Side note, because things are coming to my mind now. Do you know, like, you should always, like, you know, people that speak about you when you're not in the room, yeah? Those are the real ones. You know, one guy that should always sing your praises to me, no matter what, for years. Geoff Schumann. I have to say it. I know Geoff. Geoff's family to me. Oh wow. Yeah. You got. Okay. But I just want to say that. Like, Geoff has been singing. I didn't know he was Asian. Huh? Is he Asian? Yeah, come on, bro. His family, bro. How you mean, bro? Geoff's my brother. But I just want to say that. You know what I mean? Because some people, you know, when you're not in a room and that. Obviously, this is my first time meeting you. But that brother right there used to always sing your praises. I always got time for Geoff. We love Geoff. The man. Okay, so this is out now. I want you to sign this, by the way. I'm keeping that.
That's extra.
Oh, come on, mate.
You didn't even pay for this, man.
The label's got this. How much is it, by the way?
£200.
No, how much is vinyl? how much is
is
it?
the vinyl?
30 quid.
30 quid.
He's asking me.
No, and CDs, what, how does it work? I don't even know. That's what I mean.
CD's £15, I think, 14.99.
Okay, and the cassette? Are we doing a cassette?
We might do maybe the remixes.
Yeah.
We're doing cassette.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. Just putting that aside, Eastenders. That was talk to me. That was a surprising thing for me to see. Man's chilling there. Just.
Yeah.
How did that come about?
My agent sent me a message saying that Eastenders were asking if I was available for a certain period of time.
So Eastenders were coming for that. They were just looking for you.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, yeah, why not? Why don't we just have a go at this? Because I've been doing acting, I've been doing bits and pieces.
Okay,
but
I didn't know that.
nothing major.
Right.
I mean, bits and pieces in TV shows, films,
Right.
what have you. But this was like, I mean, I read the part, and I was like, this is me. I mean, he was wearing a three-piece suit. He's
Dapper man.
driving a Bentley,
Got that.
smoking a cigar, chatting up Sam Mitchell,
Hey.
and then I was in the pub playing the piano.
Playing the piano.
As
yeah.
well, with everybody singing, you know what I mean,
Yeah.
doing it as well. So I was like, this is me.
Right.
So I did everything that I could to make sure I was ready for the role, and then, got the first audition, then call back, and then bam.
And how kind of quick was that? Like, yeah, you've got this.
It was like over like a 2-3 week period.
Okay, because Richard Bellat has been here, and kind of he's telling me like Eastenders is a whole new animal. It's like a whole new mainstream UK.
It's not as big as it used to be, but
Right,
I can see I can see the whole thing about it. But it was such a great experience. Everybody, the whole cast,
Yeah.
fantastic. Roger Griffiths, who played my brother, bless him, big up Roger Griffiths.
Yeah. But he's a TV legend though.
Oh, absolutely.
From like dub plate drama and
Exactly, he
like,
was in Chef as well, where I
everything,
did
like,
the theme tune for.
Right.
But he gave me a quick tutorial on what to do, what not to do, how
Right.
to get, you know what I mean? Make sure you don't mess about with this, get you stand where you're supposed to stand, say what you're supposed to say,
Yeah.
all these different things. So, it was just fantastic.
Is it kind of nervous doing that, walking on set for that? Because I suppose for someone who stood on stages and
Initially it was. I mean, I was so nervous about it. I didn't want to like mess up, so I was in a hotel travel lodge around the corner to make sure I could just walk there.
Yeah.
And by the time I finished, I was just coming up from home,
Yeah.
did it, and go back home again.
And then I guess the sad thing about it is your part was quite small. Did you know your character was going to kick
Yeah,
the bucket like, from the start?
like I said, they asked if I was available for a certain amount of days.
So you specifically knew that your character was not going to last.
Yeah. I mean,
That must be frustrating. Like at least give him a
Kinda,
questionable death, because man could come back 5 years later down the road. Hello, son. Do you know what I mean?
yeah. What's his name? Bobby Ewing.
Yeah,
in
just
the shower.
like hello.
Do you know who Bobby Ewing is?
No, but I'm just going
There
with
we
it.
go.
I'm a young
Is he
boy.
marking his age again?
No, I'm not. Who's that, bro? I don't know
Dallas.
Dallas, wow, JR, you know.
Yay!
I heard about that. I heard it. And Dynasty, oh my
Whoa!
God. Man's going to talk about the Walton soon. Holy shit. You are. But yeah, any more plans for acting, or is that just, you just take it as it
Whatever
comes?
comes along. I mean, I've been so invested in finishing the album, getting that out there with the tour and stuff, because I don't just do my own music. I do the British Collective, which is myself, Donny, Junior Giscombe,
Right.
as well. I do a jazz quartet,
Right.
QCBA, the Quentin Collin, Brandon Allen.
So you're
jazz
busy then?
quartet. Yeah, absolutely. And I'm still writing music. I'm always writing music.
And then kind of, is there a tour to this?
I'm touring in the States. I've got an 11-date tour coming up in
wow.
July, and then there's going to be a Europe and UK tour, probably going to be the end of this year or beginning of
So where in the States are you?
2026. Everywhere. I mean, it's mainly east to mid-east,
Yeah.
because I've only got one date in LA,
Right.
which the West Coast are kind of like, everybody's going, when you come to Oakland, San Francisco,
Right.
San Diego, all these other places. So we had to fit that in. Maybe that will be September.
Is that the label that handles all that, or is it?
No, that's my manager
Yeah.
and my agent, my booking agent.
That's a lot of work.
It is a lot
America's
of work.
huge. I don't think people
Yeah.
realise how much ground
Yeah,
you've got to cover. But what a beautiful thing that you could go out there and kind of still be relevant, still be prevalent. And
It's a blessing, absolutely, and that's my guardian angel.
it's
looking
that
after
face,
me.
brother. What
I'm
was that
telling you,
face,
it's
bro?
just
You
grinning
get
at me.
me? Who
He's
was that
still
face,
smiling.
bro? Whoa. We do this thing before we end.
Okay.
You will like this. I'm sure of it. If you don't, then just blame this and not me. We ask AI to ask you questions.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
All right.
This AI, it's not me. You get what I'm saying? Look,
Okay.
AI, yeah, has to ask you questions.
All right.
We probably covered them, but I just think it's a good little, you know what I mean, to bring the new school, you know?
Okay.
Bruh, okay. I haven't even read these.
Oh, that's nice.
It's literally, right.
Good.
Why do you think the UK industry never pushed you like they did with Craig David or Seal? Was it race, sound, or politics? Wow.
Wait, race.
No, no.
They are all black.
Do not shoot the messenger.
Yeah, I don't know. I just, it wasn't that kind of thing that they wanted to sell. It wasn't the brand that they wanted to sell. I'm quite, free thinking. I just do what I want to do. And then I covered a lot of, styles and sounds and stuff. And some people can't handle that, so.
Did you ever try to change your sound to fit in, like a commercial sound? That's what's popping right now.
Right at the very, very beginning, I may have tried to do that. But like I said, I just need to make something that I'm comfortable with. Because you have to sing these things for the rest of your life.
Yeah, for real.
So there's no point me doing something that was for somebody else. And then I got to sing this bloody rubbish song.
Yeah.
You know?
I hear you. Do you feel your career would have blown up more if you were American?
Somebody else has asked me that before.
AI, baby, AI.
I have no idea.
No idea.
Never even thought about it. A lot of people didn't realise I was American. And some Americans thought I was.
Right.
I don't know. It's crazy, but no.
Right.
No.
Fair enough. Did Stevie Wonder really try to sign you? And if so, why didn't it happen?
He never tried to sign me.
The AI, I don't know. Okay. How much has the UK music industry stolen from black artists like you without giving proper credit or investment?
Just wondering why you're shouting this out.
Oh, right, okay.
Say that again.
How much of the okay? I'm gonna be the face
Go
on the side of
on,
your
go on.
How much of no? How much has the UK music industry stolen from black artists like you without giving proper credit? or
Stolen
investment?
from us without giving us credit.
Do you ever feel like your sound was stolen?
No one can't steal my sound. No one sounds like me. You know what I mean? Okay, one little thing where I'm going, yeah, me.
Okay. Why do you think UK soul has never reached the global scale of US neo soul? Lack of talent or industry sabotage?
Well, the people that like the soul music, we're a much smaller country. So
Right.
you could do urban, you could do R&B and stuff in the States and not go mainstream and be quite comfortable.
Yeah, true.
Whereas over here, it's very much smaller numbers.
Yeah, facts. Do you think your generation of black British artists have been forgotten by today's younger artists?
Hell no.
Yeah,
I get called uncle or OG from a whole bunch of people. So
But you are an OG though, innit?
I am an OG
Embrace
and
that.
an uncle
And you are a goat as well.
and a goat.
Come on. Do you know what a goat is in case you start? That's a sheep.
They make the same sound.
Have you ever felt pressured to act less black to get more radio play or support? I do apologise for some of these questions. I'm not. Should we just swerve that?
Just skim over that bullshit.
You've been called a pioneer. Do you feel respected by the current UK scene, or is it all lip service?
No, I do. I feel the love.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you say, everybody, when they talk about English black music, my name seems to crop up. This is what I'm being told.
Yeah.
So,
Facts.
yeah.
If you could erase any collaboration or project from your discography, what would it be and why?
Yeah, it'd be one of those features that I was telling
What
you
was
about.
that song called again?
I can't remember.
You
what
said it
it's-
earlier, I've forgotten.
Yeah, bullshit.
Okay. Do you regret not chasing commercial fame harder when you had the chance?
Nah, not at all. I'm so happy with my career.
Okay, here's an interesting one. This could be, what was your first thought when you got diagnosed with prostate cancer? Was it anger or peace? Fear, anger or peace?
Peace.
I didn't know that.
Peace, because I caught it early,
Right.
so I wasn't fearful at all. But
Right.
it does, your mortality does come into question,
Right.
as well. And I had to tell my girls as well what it was. But the fact that I had options I felt quite peaceful. In fact, sometimes I forget that I had it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because that's why I tried to tell people afterwards that you need to get yourself checked, especially black people of a certain age.
Yeah.
Men of a certain age need
Yeah.
to get themselves checked. Black people are 4 times more likely to get it.
Is that just not, is that because they're not getting checked or just
No, I don't know why that is. I think it's a genetic thing.
Right.
But, you know what I mean? As long as you're ahead of this disease, you got more options and you can treat it and you're not worried about it. I've seen a lot of people, we've lost a lot of people along the way that didn't pay any attention.
I think DJ AG recently just had a check and he was saying that we should get it checked. And
I've had some funny moments, I'll tell you that.
What do you mean?
With that. So you know how they check it?
Yes.
All right, so after I had that check, the doctor then wipes his hand and goes, I hope you don't mind me asking, are you Omar? I was like, thanks for not asking me then when you did have your thumb up my ass.
Wow.
Because then that would have
But
been
you asked
completely
though,
different.
innit? Wow. But yeah, there is a stigma of that, isn't it? About, getting checked.
Yeah, but listen, I'd rather that than be dead.
Facts.
You know what I mean?
Facts. And what kind of are the symptoms that one should be looking out for? Do you know what I mean? Are you aware of
I
it?
had no symptoms.
Okay.
I just did a blood, there's a blood test, it's called a PSA.
That's correct, yeah.
And things started to spike from then. Then they did the MRI, then they did the biopsy as well. And they said, yeah, you need to get treatment for this.
So you can literally have no kind of
symptoms
or nothing.
Exactly.
Okay.
And I don't want to be one of those people that say, right, you got 6 months to live.
Of course.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay, I didn't know that. Sorry, I didn't know that. But that's amazing that we've actually brought that up. Do you think black men avoid doctors because of culture, pride, or the system failing them?
No, it's the pride thing, innit? If they don't go. I mean, what's the... You're going to have to edit this bit. ACLT, Afro-Caribbean Leukemia Trust.
Right.
They have a lack of donors.
Right.
And they say it's because there's a stigma.
Or people don't give blood.
Or black people not trusting, the health service.
Right.
That kind of thing.
Right.
My brother passed away from cancer as well.
Right.
Because he didn't trust the health service.
There are a lot of people from ethnic minorities, Asian, black people that I sit with on this show and otherwise, and there is that anti kind of, we don't trust the medicine.
Yeah.
There's a
exactly.
I'm seeing a lot more of like a Dr. Sebi approach to things.
Right.
And I think COVID really put it over the line with this jab. I think a lot of people that are anti-jab are now anti just medicine from that.
Exactly.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm not one of those.
Yeah.
I'm like, give me all the drugs, all the chemicals, whatever that is
But I
going to
think
take to
it
sort
is
this
a
out.
discussion that needs to kind of happen because I'm seeing so many people just saying, we don't trust them man over there. We're not, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we need you to find out. You said edit this out, why? Do I have to
Because I had to get it in my head.
You don't want that in? Or is
No,
cool.
because I was just trying to think
I didn't want to be upset when it comes out. Hey brother, why do you edit that out?
No, because I needed to remember the
I'm
charity.
coming to your yard.
The charity that I was
Okay,
talking
cool.
about.
Sorry. Okay. Have you ever turned to drugs or alcohol during low points in your career? You don't have to answer. Okay. man just. Okay, I actually was going to bring this up and I forgot, so I'm lucky. Is the MBE a badge to shut people up, or did it really mean something to you?
It meant something to me.
Yeah, talk about the MBE.
Well,
when did you get that?
I got it in 2012.
Amazing.
I got names on the
2012,
list.
that's amazing.
2012 was when I got named on the list. I got it in 2013.
Yeah.
It was a big deal because, I'm not mainstream. I don't get all, the Brits, the others, I got a little badge from the others.
Yeah.
Mercury's and stuff like that.
Right.
So to get this, to be recognised there, I was really proud of that.
That must be amazing for your family.
And my parents as well,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Because my parents were both Rasta as well, you know what I mean? They could have said, no, it's the empire, blah, blah. And they were like, no, they told me you get your flowers when you get your flowers, you know what I mean? And so I'm proud of that.
Did you have that thought in your head? Because people have sat here, i.e. George the poet, and they turned down the MBE.
Benjamin Zephaniah turned it down, and I respect their opinion that they chose to do that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But for me, I'm like, I work hard for this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Facts.
So to be recognised some way, that made a big deal.
Yeah, it's amazing. Congrats, it's an amazing thing. Would you ever expose people in the industry who blackballed or sabotaged you? Give us a name, rah. This thing's going.
How did you get him to ask this question?
Brother, give us.
No, I know, but how did you get him to do that?
I'll tell you off camera.
All right, you tell me. All right, okay.
I got you. Don't worry.
Would I what?
Would you ever expose people in the industry? The answer's probably no. So let's just allow that in it. Do you think today's UK R&B and soul lacks substance compared to what you were doing?
No, there's some great stuff.
Yeah?
Beautiful.
Is it just harder to find? Do you think?
No, you just got to be aware of it. I mean,
Yeah.
is it Elmine? Is it Elmine? I don't want to. You're gonna edit that out. There's
it's
so
fine.
so many great artists.
This man wants me to edit this whole movie.
Yeah,
bro.
just
Allow
do the
me,
whole
bruv. You're
fucking
saying what
thing.
you're
Just
saying,
edit
bruv.
it because I
Stop
can't
it,
remember
bruv. You get
names.
me? No, it's fine. Are you tired of being asked about there's nothing like this? Do you wish people moved on?
Hell no.
Yeah, how much of a double-edged sword is that? Kind of.
It's a one-edged sword. It's
Yeah.
fantastic. You know, even if that's the one that they start with, do you know what I mean? There's a whole wealth. Like you said, the catalogue is deep. It's a lot of songs.
And it's
a lot of
beautiful
music.
that song's gone through generations. You know what I mean? Like how
It used
amazing
to be
is
my
that?
sister likes your music, then it was my mum likes your music, now it's my nan likes your music.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So yeah, it goes
But
through
it
the
must be a
generations.
wonderful feeling, like to have a song. People want a song out there.
what
I
I'm
don't know,
saying.
but you've almost got that eternal. That song will.
Exactly.
It just won't die. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly,
Amazing. Is the UK too quick to praise American artists over homegrown legends like yourself?
I think at one point they were, but it's kind of shifted now because it's still not about the soul music. It's about the grime and the
Drill?
The drill.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Fantastic. At least they're earning some money some way somehow.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And then how do you feel about that type of music? Grime?
It's not my world.
Yeah.
It's not my world. I'm really happy that I'm working with gigs as well. And you know the thing I did with Bashy as well. It's got its place. It's got its time and its place. Usher D I've worked with as well. You know what I mean? It's fantastic.
Yeah, fair enough. Would you ever tell a young black artist to avoid signing with a major label today?
I need to know details
Yeah.
rather than saying that.
What's one opinion you have about the UK music scene that would get you cancelled instantly? Forget that. Shut just hang yourself. No worries. Like,
Maybe singing naked. How about that?
Okay. You've collaborated with legends, but who's the most overrated UK artist you've met and why?
I'm not gonna fucking do that, am I?
Who is? What legends have you met that you really like? You know, UK legends that you feel that you know that you wanted to meet and have met. Or let's switch that question up. Do you know what I mean?
That I wanted to meet.
Yeah.
Well,
met.
Mark King
Right.
was for me. Mike Lindup as well, who I've worked with. I've sung on his album. We actually went to the same school and college
Right.
at separate times, but. They, you know, because they were childhood people.
Yeah.
Stevie Wonder,
Yeah.
you know, getting to work and meet with him. Leon Ware was another amazing person. I wasn't that aware of him until after we'd met. We were just like hanging out.
Yeah.
And then it was
sometimes
later
that's
on that I find out he worked with Marvin Gaye, Minnie Riperton, Michael Jackson. Yeah, I mean, big dudes. So
Crazy. Be honest, did Neo Soul become a safe space for artists who couldn't make it in pop or R&B? Rah!
Fuck off, chat GBT.
Yo, is that your answer then?
Yeah.
Fuck off. We're almost there. Have you ever been approached to sell out your sound for a check, and did you ever come close?
That doesn't make sense.
Have you ever been approached to sell out your sound for a check, i.e. change your sound because the money was too good? No, okay. In the 90s, who was getting pushed because they were lighter skinned or more marketable? This thing's heavily racial. I didn't ask nothing about race, you know. It's mad that it's doing that. I will show you the prompt.
I need to know how you prompted that.
Yeah. Okay, should we leave that then?
Yeah, that's madness.
If we pulled up your old tour diaries, what's the wildest rockstar moment we'd find in there? That's it. Yeah.
The moment is quite a few, and I'm not going to go into that right now.
Side note, is there a book coming then?
Yeah. When my girls turn 30.
When your girls turn 30?
Yeah, they're 18 now.
Right.
17,
Is that when you're deciding it?
That's when I'll do it, and then I can disclose. Everything would be disclosed. It's like a deathbed thing.
But maybe you could just write it up to this point now and then add them years as you go along. No?
Sure, but you still won't read it.
Why not? No, the audio book will sound amazing though, in Omar voice. Yes, it was 1968. We went Canterbury, Toronto. Yeah. Yeah. We went Canterbury, Forest Gate, Hackney, Balham, Toronto, and that was only day 7. You know what I mean? Okay. Have you ever been told to tone down? Oh my God, I can't believe this. Yeah, have you ever been told to tone down your blackness or change your name to appeal to a wider audience?
You gave it.
Brother, I'll tell you that. I'll show you. Which UK label or exec do you think deserves to be exposed for killing black music movements? Well, this is scary, you know, that it's gone down this route.
It shouldn't make him go viral.
You know what I mean?
What's the biggest lie the industry told you?
What's the biggest lie? No, I don't understand.
You have to say something and then bleep it out, and it looks like you said
Innit?
something.
Yeah. Say something like, go, I'm fucking leaving. You can't. Okay.
Don't trust.
Yeah. No, I don't.
Has anyone in the business ever tried to little brother you despite your legacy? I don't know what that means. Forget that.
No.
Would Omar today ever slap the Omar from the 90s for a decision he made? Which one?
Yeah, that wouldn't be a music thing. That'd be like property. I wish I made better choices in terms of that, but I still can't complain.
Yeah. Okay, the prompt was who was Omar, and then I said give me 20 questions for Omar for a video podcast. Feel free to
You
make
just said the name Omar, you put Omar Lye-Fook.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Who
is British singer
okay.
Omar?
Oh, you did that. Oh,
No. I said who's British singer Omar, then it gave me your entire
wow.
life.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Then it gave me your flipping autobiography, which you might want to copy and paste for your own.
Okay.
It gave me links and everything.
Wow.
And now you done just told the world my thing. You get me? Why you got to do that? Furthermore, edit that out. edit that shit out. And I think we've covered pretty much everything. Is anything you feel like we haven't covered? Mr. Larry D.
No, I mean, you know, that's 2 hours, isn't it? Pretty much.
Mr. Larry
That's
D,
pretty good.
are you happy,
I think
sir?
we're good.
Yeah, I'm good.
We talked about the album. We talked about when it's coming out. We
Album's
talked
out
about
now.
who's on it.
Brighter the days. I'm
Yeah.
gonna drop this episode on that week. Yeah.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? I want to say thank you so much for your time, sir. You're an absolute
Brilliant.
legend, sir.
That was fun.
Honestly, you're an icon, a global
Bless
legend,
you. Thank
a
you.
fucking G, bruv.
Bless you.
OG, GOAT, all of them
OG.
words, they stand.
Unk.
Anybody try test, I'm here to back you.
All
Thank
right.
you so much for your time,
you,
honestly.
brother.
And you've brought happiness to so many people. Long may that continue. Let me tell you something. You see that CD there, bro? Just from my own point of view, Say Nothing was in my Discman, bro. Yeah, when I used to walk to school, bro.
Wow.
And you know with Discmans, you couldn't really change the CDs too much.
See my brain doing the thing.
Yeah.
So you
that-
went
yeah,
to school,
that-
Say Nothing was
That's
was
fine.
95.
So that's what I'm saying, and I'm just one person of millions. So it's a beautiful thing, yeah.
Brilliant.
Thank you so much for your
Thank
time.
you, brother.
God bless you.
Bless you.
Brighter the days out now. We out. Peace.